Hello my babies, welcome to Pokédex, the channel where I build decks for the Pokemon trading card game. Today we're going to be playing a very cool deck, it's Tyrantrum EX. This is a promo card, which means that it doesn't come out in a normal set. You have to buy the special Tyrantrum EX box, which I guess comes with a code that you can redeem online. At least that's probably how the Tyrantrum EX got in the game in the first place, and I traded for mine, so I don't really know. It's a pretty interesting Pokemon and cool too. It has 180 HP, it's a dragon type. The ability Despotic Fang says that damage from this Pokemon's attacks isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so something like Pyroar's ability or even Regice's attack effect mean nothing to Tyrantrum. The damage just goes in, and the only attack on Tyrantrum EX is actually 190 damage, which is an insane amount, but it does take 4 energy. It's 1 fighting, 2 metal, and 1 colorless. And you have to discard 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. So it kind of feels like we want to be playing something that allows us to bring the energy back, so that we can attack with Tyrantrum EX on the following turns, and that's what we are going for in this deck. We are playing this with Bronzong. I've seen someone else play this deck, which was Mike PDCGO. I'm going to put a link in the description to his deck, but he built a deck for the standard format. And I just think that we kind of need to go into the expanded format, because at the moment in standard there really aren't those many good ways to retreat out of your Pokemon. I mean, there's Switch, there's also the Eye Dragon, which cuts the retreat cost for the Dragon types on 2, but Tyrantrum takes 3 to retreat, so because we don't have the Float Stones or anything like that, I think Tyrantrum EX kind of asks for a better way to retreat. I mean, with the Bronzongs, if we have a couple of Bronzongs in play, we discard 3 energy, and then we retreat from Tyrantrum. You get 2 energy back from the Bronzongs, and then you drop 1 from your hand, so you're ready to attack the following turn. That's really nice, and that means that if we play Keldeo in EX in here, we stick a Floatstone in there, and we can just rush in and retreat all we want. So I think it works out pretty nicely. Also, if we have a couple of Tyrantrum EXs going, we can just switch from one into the other, and it works out nicely anyways. So yeah, this is an expanded deck. Of course, this isn't as powerful as the tier 1 expanded decks, but it's still quite fun and super cool to play. And you'd be surprised with the matches this deck actually wins. So looking at the rest of the deck list, we already saw the 3 Tyrantrum EX. There's a couple of Shaymin in here, really good obviously to draw cards. And then a 4 Bronzong line. It's really thick, and I think we kind of need it. If we could get 3 of those in play, it would be perfect, but our bench is going to be a little bit tight. We want to have the Keldeo in there, and we also want to drop a Shaymin or 2 to draw cards. Speaking of Keldeos, we are playing 1. We can get it back with the Super Rod if it comes down to that, but we are playing 3 Floatstones, which work perfectly on Keldeo, but we can actually just put on any other Pokemon to be able to retreat and keep the machine going, so to speak. As far as items go, we have 2 Battle Compressor. They do 2 different things in here. They discard metal energy that we can then accelerate with Bronzong, and they also get us the supporters back into the discard pile that we can grab with the VS Seeker. So we can play a lot of one-offs of supporters that we can toolbox for, so to speak. We have 1 Computer Search. I think it's a better ace spec in general, and we are going with that for this deck because we want to set up, and in setup decks I think Computer Search is the better ace spec. Also allows us to discard some energy to accelerate. You guys know how that works. There's 1 Super Rod. It can help us grab some of our fighting energy back, and of course some Bronzongs, the Keldeo, stuff like that. There's 1 switch in here. We have a lot of retreat cards, but I guess having an extra switch for those games where we don't have the Keldeo EX in the deck and we need to retreat out of the special condition is really nice. So yeah, I think like a one-off of a switch is enough, but I still feel really well playing it. There's 4 Trainer's Mail to help us draw into our trainers, 4 Ultra Balls to help us grab our Pokemon and draw cards and grab the Keldeo and the Bronzong and all that, 4 VS Seeker to bring the supporters back, and as far as those supporters go, we have 1 AZ, really cool to heal off the damage because we are only playing Tyrantrum EXs as attackers, so we can actually, this guy takes damage, we bring it to our hand, drop it again, recharge energy, and do it again and again. And it also allows us to retreat from one of our guys. We have one Colress for big draw turns, one Hex Maniac to cut some special abilities of our opponent's Pokemon. Of course, don't really care about Pyroars and defensive abilities like that, but sometimes we might want to cut some Shaymins and stuff like that from our opponent's Pokemon, and Hex Maniac is in here for that. We have one Lysander for the tactical knockout, really good to have. One N to punish our opponents if they took an early prize, and because this is a setup deck, that's going to happen sometimes. We sometimes just sacrifice a Shaymin or something like that, and N is in here to level the field, so to speak. We have one Pokemon Fan Club, also really nice in setup decks. We can just bring a Bronzong and a Bronzor, and a Shaymin EX to our hand, or the Keldeo, and just draw extra cards, something like that. For Professor Sycamore, because it's the best card draw supporter, and that's it. That's the supporters. As far as stadiums go, I'm only playing the Faded Town. I think this combines really nicely with Tyrantrum EX. So it's time for the math lessons. So Dragon Impact does 190, which kills basically all the basic EXs, except for, I guess, the Wailord EX. But let's not focus too much on a single card. So 190 basically kills all the other EXs. If the opponent is playing a Mega, if it's a 210 Mega, we have a couple of Muscle Bands in here, or just a single Faded Town will do the extra 20 damage that we need. So we deal 190, and then the Faded Town does 210. So that would be enough for Gardevoir and Mega Manectric. If the opponent is playing a 220 HP, like the Rayquazas, we need either the Muscle Band and the Stadium, or stick the Stadium down, and then the opponent passes the turn back without trumping our Stadium, and their guys die. If they do trump our Stadium, we can just find another Faded Town, drop it again, and then pass the turn, killing that Rayquaza anyway. So it works out really nicely. If the opponent is playing at 240 HP, it's basically the same, because we just have to find, I guess, the Muscle Band to make sure that we hit the 230 and then 250 on the way back. So Faded Town works really nicely with this deck. Also Muscle Band, but we don't need as many as you saw. We only really need Muscle Bands against 240 HP Mega Pokemon. And then we have the 3 Floatstone, which I think works really nicely in this deck. And don't be afraid to drop a Floatstone, an early Floatstone on one of your other guys that's not Keldeo EX. Because we're playing 3, you can actually just put one on Bronzong, for example. If something gets knocked out, we might just go with Bronzong that has a Floatstone, charge up the Tyrantrum that we might even drop from our hand that same turn, and just charge it up and then retreat. So I think it works really nicely. As far as energy goes, we could be playing Bland Energy, could be playing Prism, could be playing Rainbow, but actually I think just playing straight up basics works the best, because our opponents are not going to be hitting us with hammers a lot of times. Only Crushing Hammer hits us, and of course Team Flare Grunt, but what can you do about that? And because Tyrantrum only needs a single one of these, and actually can attack with as many as 2, I think it works really nicely to just have the basics in here. I think it's really easy to draw into them. The Metal, we play 7, it's really easy to get them in the discard pile and get them with Bronzong and stuff like that. So I feel like playing just 4 fighting for the 3 Tyrantrum EX that we run is enough. And there's always Super Rod that we can use to shuffle some of these guys back if we need. That's the deck list. Let's just go play some matches. Okay, so we're starting our match here against a, Darkness, Psychic and Dragon type deck. It's kind of a weird combination. Maybe there's some Giratina with Yveltal in there. I don't really know what to expect here. Okay, we start off with a Tyrantrum. I guess it's okay, it's our only attacker, but we are still a little bit off charging it up. Okay, our opponent is playing Mewtwo and Darkrai, so maybe it's an Yveltal deck with some surprises in there. I don't really know what to expect. I hope there's no Archeops, because that would kind of make... oh, there's an N. That's better than a Maxis, I guess. That would mean we couldn't evolve our Bronzongs. We kind of had to get the X-Maniac before we could evolve. Our opponent plays a Laser, so we're going to take some damage. I actually like my hand better now after the end, because I'm going to play the Pokemon Fan Club, and I'm going to grab, I guess, a couple of Pokemon. Maybe a Bronzor and a Keldeo if I have it, because I don't need a Shaymin, because I'm going to play the Sycamore. the following turn, so I just want to try to set up my bench, I guess. Let's see, yeah, we got a Bronzor, and we got the Keldeo. That's nice. Let's just put them both down. I guess I need a Floatstone here. Oh, there's the computer search for the Floatstone, so I might as well just bench my guys. And do I discard both energy? Let's see. Kind of feel like I need to pressure my opponent, and I kind of feel like for that I have to play the energy, so maybe I discard the Muscle Band. It's not really that useful, yeah. Don't really need the extra damage if I'm playing against Yveltal, so might as well just grab that Floatstone. Put it on the Keldeo, rush in and retreat, I think, into the Tyrantrum. I know it's taking some damage, but I don't think I can retreat into the Bronzor. So yeah, I think I'm going to retreat into this guy, and I think I'm going to play the energy. My thing is, I feel like I have to pressure my opponent. I guess this Tyrantrum is going to die anyways, but when it does, if there's Bronzongs built in the bench, it's not really a problem, because we can immediately just find another Tyrantrum and set it up really quickly. And I kind of feel like I want to pressure my opponent and kind of scare him a little bit, kind of make him feel like he has to do something and he has to spend lasers and all that. So there's more energy coming to that Mewtwo, so we're taking 80 damage, alright. We're sitting at 70. Gotta keep that in mind. I think I discard this energy with a Sycamore. Yeah. Okay, there's the Bronzong, sorry. And I kind of feel like I want to play as many cards as I can. So let's see. I think I get some energy and then I shuffle them back playing the Super Rod, because I want this Shaman. Or maybe I can, I mean, I already have 2 in there, so maybe I just grab the Lysander, and now I can play the Super Rod and I still have 1 energy left. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, because I just want to get rid of the most cards I can from my hand, so. It also includes playing this energy here, and now I can just play the Shaman. Let's see. Oh, still no fighting energy, that's awkward. I am going to put the Stadium down, I guess, because that reduces the damage, but don't really know if it's doing that much. Yeah, it's the same thing as playing it now or whenever, so might as well just go for another Bronzor. I want to get all these guys ready, and I'm just going to retreat into the Shaman. It's the scapegoat of choice. Don't really care if the Shaman gets knocked out. I mean, I do care because the opponent will get 2 prizes, but I'd rather him doing it now than in the later stages of the game to close out the game. So we see an energy going to the Yveltal. It's way more powerful than the Mewtwo, but I guess the opponent couldn't attack with it last turn, so. Okay, we got End, which is actually great for us. Just threw a million cards here. Ooh, we see Garbodor and Floatstone. Oh my god, that's kind of scary actually. Because if my opponent sticks that guy down, we are in a little bit of trouble. We do have the Lysander in there. I didn't put any Xerosic or Starling Megaphone in the deck, so that's kind of scary. Maybe I should have. We can't really be ready for everything, right? I don't think there's a lot of Garbodor being played right now. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, definitely we have to find a way to get rid of the items. Okay, our opponent just throws a Garbodor in there to sacrifice it. Oh, there's the fighting energy, finally. But I actually think... Okay, so if I grab the guy with the Floatstone, I kind of feel like my opponent can just build another Garbodor anyways, so I kind of feel like I have to just trust that that's not going to happen and just charge up the second dude. And just... If my opponent plays the Garbodor, he will just... Oh man, I don't know. I think I'm just going to grab that Mewtwo and kill it. Here's my thinking. I'm getting rid of the most energy like this way, and I think my opponent is kind of set back a little bit. Now even if he builds the Garbodor, we have a Tyrantrum coming in 2 turns, and he has taken 0 prizes. I guess he's taking prizes now, but oh, there's an N. Okay, if my opponent does not play the Garbodor, he's in real trouble, because I'm going to knock out anything he uses to attack us with. Hopefully, if we draw the fighting energy, of course. I don't even know how many we have in the deck. Oh, there's a Drudigan. I guess that's the dragon type he was using, but Tyrantrum isn't weak against the dragon types. He's weak against fairy, as most dragons are nowadays. So I guess that's a Y Cyclone coming. Yep. Just kills our dude. I'm going to promote the Keldeo because it has a floatstone. Could promote anything. We got the Rushing ability, so I really need to find. Okay, we see a stadium. I guess I'll grab that. We need to find the energy, the fighting energy. There we go. It's perfect. Just metal links. Can use metal links again. I'll take some damage. I'm just going to put the floatstone in here, just so that we don't get headringered. Yeah, I'm going to charge up another energy. I know it's 10 extra damage, but I don't think we're getting knocked out with just 2 energy on this guy. And this way I only need a couple of attachments. If my opponent does not play the Garbodor, which if he had it in hand, he would already have played it. So kind of has to find a way to draw it now. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He can kill us actually if he plays a double colorless energy and a muscle band on that Yveltal. He just knocks out our dude, and we have to throw stuff at his face while we hopefully charge up the third Tyrantrum that I hope is floating around in our deck. He drops the double colorless energy on that Drudigan. I guess my opponent just wanted to have a non-EX attacker. Oh, we drew the Ultra Ball. This is nice. I think we can try to play the Shaman and draw into the Lysander. Let's see. Yeah, there's a Via Seeker in there, so that's perfect. Let's not grab anything because I don't want to get that Pokemon in our hand. I want to get rid of the most cards I can, actually. So let's put this Floatstone. I guess in the Shaman doesn't really matter too much. I can put this energy on our Tyrantrum EX because it uses any energy. So let's see. Oh, this sucks. Let's just play the ball first. I didn't draw with that ball before playing the Shaman because I didn't want the Pokemon in my hand, but now I do because I want to dig the most I can with this Trainer's Mail. Oh, there's the Via Seeker. Perfect. That's just game. That's really good. So we can just rush in, charge up our Tyrantrum with our energy, and then just grab the Lysander that we put into the discard pile. Let's retreat into our dude. Let's just get that Lysander and grab anything that's an EX. So discard any type of energy, and that's it. That's game. We actually managed to grab the win. I think we were a little bit lucky that our opponent did not put the Garbodor down as quickly as he could. But I guess that's the way some games go. Yeah, this deck is pretty fun, as you guys saw, and also pretty powerful. I'm not saying it's tier 1, but it's definitely a cool deck that you can play when you're bored if you manage to get those Tyrantrum EXs because they're promos. I don't really have anything else to say. If you guys like the deck, please tell me and click the like button. And say what you want in the description below, and not description, the comments. And I guess that's it for now. See you guys next time. Bye.